Hey, how's it going? This is Dillon Davis. I'm with Stephen Brooks of the State News, and we just left Mark Dantonio's weekly press conference. Following a bye week, there's obviously not a lot of news for the Spartans to report. Connor Cook remains the starting quarterback. However, there also are now 6 starters at receiver. Mark Dantonio trying to find obviously a combination that's going to work there for the season. Steve, what was the biggest takeaway that you had from Mark Dantonio today?
I think just hearing Coach D talk about Iowa was the most interesting thing to me. He mentioned it a little bit last week, but he said the Hawkeyes are similar to Michigan State in the sense that they know who they are, they know what they're going to do, and they're going to do those things well and make you try and stop it. I don't want to say basic, but everybody knows the blueprint on Iowa. They're going to be a hard-nosed, physical team, and now they've escalated their defense, so maybe it's even more of a mirror image of the Spartans this year than in years past where there's been a lot of close games. But, you know, MSU's checking in at number 1 right now in national defense. Iowa is up there at number 7. And then on the other side of the ball, they have Mark Weissman, a big hulking running back that used to be a fullback, a 240-plus runner that's number 5 in the nation in rushing yards. So they've got a threat on offense. They've escalated the defense. It won't be an easy trip out there to Iowa City for the Spartans, that's for sure.
I think there are a lot of similarities in it. You know, it's a program that prides itself on toughness, which I think we do too. There's some aspects of it that related to Coach Perlis, with Norm Parker being there and Phil Parker being there. So there's some aspects that was tied to Coach Perlis in his time here. So there's some similarities there in the type of defenses that they did run, and some similarities, not totally. There's differences. There's definite differences. You can tell when you watch the two defenses schematically and what they play. But there are some things that they're going to hold true. The ability to tackle in space, pressure the quarterback, stop the run, those type of things. They're going to play their defense. You're not going to see them going in and out of their defense and changing from year to year. They're going to be who they are. They're going to get good at that, and they're going to master that craft. And I think on the offensive side of the ball, they do the same thing a little bit. They say, this is who we are, this is what we're going to do, and try and do it to the best of their abilities. And they've sort of shaped their program like that. And they've built some tradition there. And at the time when Coach Ferentz got there, I believe they were a little bit down, and he raised them up. And had tremendous success there, I feel, 13 seasons. And there are some similarities when you came into the Big Ten in 2007 that I looked across and I saw Iowa and said, that's who we can be. And they can play with anybody at any time, any place. That's who we can be. And I think that's what we're trying. That's what we tried to emulate somewhat. I think that's the case. We've won, other than Nebraska, we've won away from home at every venue in this conference. There's not one football team that we've not beaten away in an away game. So we've proven ourselves in that capacity. We want to continue to try and raise the bar. We set the tone, set the standards for championships. That's what we're chasing, and it goes to Iowa City at this point. That's all we know. We got to move that. Got to move our football team. We got to move our rock or our foundation to Iowa City to make it happen.
So you mentioned the shakeups at receiver. Coach D mentioned that there's going to be that he kind of just views 6 guys as co-starters, and he doesn't really care who goes in there. Whether you're first, it doesn't mean you're always going to get the most reps or whatever. What do you see, shaking out that wide receiver spot? Do you think this is a good move, or what are you sort of making of what Dantonio said today?
Well, basically what I took away from that is that Mark Dantonio is trying to find a combination that works. The Spartans haven't had a lot of guys that are catching the ball with any sort of consistency. You've had troubles with Benny Fowler. Tony Lippett's been kind of in and out. I guess really the only constant's been Garrett Kings Jr., who seemed to have a nice link up with Connor Cook with a touchdown in the past 2 weeks. Other than the bye week. So I think with Iowa and the Big Ten season, you need to find receivers that are going to work and that are going to be able to make you competitive down the line. Michigan State traditionally wide receiver guys like Plaxico, guys like Charles Rogers. They need to find that next guy that's going to be able to make plays, or they're not going to be able to do anything in the Big Ten.
I consider about 6 receivers as starters. I don't care who plays, because a guy runs out to be the starter on play number 1 doesn't mean that he's going to play the most. It's just roll them in, factor them in, give them opportunities to make plays. I have confidence in them that they can make plays. I see it over and over during practice. So whether it's Tony or whether it's Fowler or whether it's Burbage or whoever it is, or McGarrett Kings or whoever it is, I do think that they have ability. I think that they can factor in to us winning football games. But I don't, I sort of see them all as starters. They have an opportunity to be in there and make big plays. So any one of them could make.
I gotcha. Well, that's all for this week. Once again, I'm Stephen Brooks, and this is Dillon Davis from the State News. Keep checking statenews.com all week for all your latest MSU football coverage heading up to the Iowa game.